Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you some of my thoughts after Michigan's 19-17 victory over Illinois, and oh my, the stress. It's been a while since I felt that stress. Like, whoa. Just sitting there like the whole fourth quarter, just my heart beating in my chest. The thump, the thump, the thump, the thump. Like, oh my word, so much stress. Whew. Talking with my brother, he's like, you know what? These are games that good teams will find a way to win. And I didn't know Michigan would find a way to win, honestly. Because, you know what? Michigan went down to being a one attack team, right? The rushing game was basically shut down by Illinois, who was a good rushing defense anyways. And then you take out Black Corum, and that really made Michigan one-dimensional. They could not do anything anything rushing. They had to rely on the pass. Ooh, what a game. Let's just take it back a little bit. Start from the beginning. Michigan gets the opening kickoff, and I think for the 8th time out of 11 games this year, they go down the field and get an opening touchdown. Up 7-0. Everything was pretty easy there. And then you think, okay, this is going to be okay. Michigan gets a 3-and-out. Illinois punts to inside the 5, but Michigan gets a wonderful screen call to Corum for a 50-yard run, move the ball, but it stalls out, right? Maybe a pass interference isn't called, whatever. I'm not going to dwell on what the refs call and don't call. Punt, 3-and-out, and they get the ball back. And Michigan didn't get anything going, which isn't terribly unusual for Michigan in the first half. The difference, though, is they're playing a much better defense. So normally they would come down and get into the red zone or closer and get some field goals. And Michigan didn't do that. They just kept getting stopped. And you know what? Give credit to Illinois. They were giving up some chunk yards and such every so often, not much. And their defense settled in. And Michigan's defense was playing on par, I would say. And the really big key to this game happened on the last possession of the first half. Well, for Michigan at least. They were driving down. All of a sudden they hit some good plays, got some passes, got some chunks running. And, of course, Corum goes inside the 15 He takes a shot right on the knee. The pain is so much that he immediately, or pretty close to, just lets go of the ball and fumbles it. And the ref didn't call it a fumble, but, I don't know if any Michigan player would have been able around to get it anyways, but Illinois just picked it up, and upon review during the TV injury break, they rightly looked at it, and yes, Corum did fumble. So Michigan went from being at least in a chip shot field goal situation, go up 10-3 at half. All of a sudden they turned the ball over. Obviously losing points really hurt, but also losing Black Corum really, really hurt. Obviously that's the last thing Michigan really wanted was to lose Black Corum. I'm not saying Illinois didn't have any injuries. I know their secondary was pretty bad. You have 2 starting cornerbacks were out and such for the year, and another one was out too. But Black Corum is the lifeblood of Michigan, and it just sucked the energy out of the team, out of the crowd, and what you were hoping was at least hopefully a touchdown before half, right? Turn it into nothing before half. 7-3 at halftime. And Corum's injury just compounded the problem already Michigan was having this week, where Mike Morris was resting. He could have played, he didn't. If Michigan loses this game, you really kind of question that. But, obviously you're all looking ahead to beating Ohio State. A.J. Henning didn't play in this game. Donovan Edwards didn't play in this game. I think, another one of our tight ends didn't play in the game. Schoenfeld, I think it is. So it's all of a sudden a lot of injuries at key positions are creeping up. It's that's not the way you want to end the season, right? Injuries. And you saw it really take its toll on Michigan in the second half. Let's talk about the second half. Illinois, they did what no other team has done so far this year, at least, right? They went down and they got touchdowns in the second half. Both in the third quarter, they got nice touchdown drives, and Brown finished them off, right? So 14 points in the third quarter, whereas, Michigan had given up 3 points in the third quarter all year long. All of a sudden, there you go. It's 17-10-ish, something like that. 17-7, then 17-10, somewhere in that range. It was 10-10 at one point. So, it's just, 17-10 Illinois, and Michigan is just one-dimensional. It's like they're trying to do anything with Stokes. You're getting gashed some runs. You're getting these other like third, fourth string guys, and they're not able to do anything. So I know Michigan has a good offensive line, but the defense didn't have to worry about it at all, right? I don't know how much the Illinois defense shifted and said, what, we don't have to worry about the rush game because of what Michigan has or hasn't had. I don't know that. I'm not that deep of a guy to know that detail. But Michigan just could not run the ball. And so it fell onto JJ. JJ had to make some throws to win the game. And again, it's an up and down game. The first half, he threw a ball, goes right through Roman Wilson's hand on a big like second down or something, right? Over the middle. Would have been a nice 15, 20-yard pickup. In the third quarter, you have the fourth down play. They throw to Andrel Anthony for what would have been a touchdown. And it just goes right through his hands. The defense didn't even make a play on it. How do you not catch those balls? Man! Then, of course, you have the second, like the last drive there where JJ got a little bit like, oh, let's just take the first read, right? He takes the first read to Gash, who, on the second to last drive, who probably would have got the first down, but he dropped the ball, but Loveland was open in the end zone, and he doesn't see him, and doesn't throw there. Then the next play, Loveland's open again, and he overthrows him. So it's like, oh, man, the pressure. But Michigan got the stop, used the timeouts. That penalty on third down took a 4th and 1. I wonder what Illinois would have done. But Michigan backed them up. Sure, it let some clock run down, but got the stop on third down. And then, of course, they were punting into the wind. That wind was a huge factor. And they got the ball at midfield. They get some nice chunk, a couple yards. They didn't fall behind the sticks like they'd been doing pretty much all game, especially after Corum went out. And then it was 4th and 3, 4th and 4. And like, oh my word, my heart's just about to explode. And what play do they call up? A nice little two-man route where I'm not sure if it's Johnson or Bell or who it is, but it goes upfield. 2 guys go with him. And who's open? Gash? Like our number 4 or 5 string running back is open. And this time he catches it for a huge first down. The next play, Illinois gets called for a defensive pass interference. Sets Michigan up at about the 20, something like that. And this is where really I was starting to wonder, like, what are you doing, Michigan? Michigan had no timeouts left. And they're in chip shot field goal range for the best kicker in the country, at least last year he was. And he's a good kicker this year. And all of a sudden, Michigan started like just doing passes. I would almost think you would know. Okay, I know you don't want to settle for the field goal, but make some smarter plays. It would have been nice to get a touchdown there. Don't get me wrong. Maybe Illinois would have just let you score there, figuring you have the best kicker in the Big Ten. Let's just let them score so we can get the ball back and have a chance to win ourselves. But they didn't. Michigan does like a little this, a little that, and all of a sudden, Cornelius Johnson catches a nice catch. It didn't get overturned. They reviewed it. 5-yard pass. And I don't know what on earth Michigan was thinking. It was right chip shot. Total chip shot. 3rd and 5. And they decide to throw to a covered, I think it was Johnson again, and the pass gets deflected, and it easily could have been intercepted for a game over. What are you doing there on 3rd down? Just, whatever, it's 3rd down. Let the clock run down to 2-3 seconds. And then spike the ball. And then, you know what? Spike, just get there under center, spike the ball, and then set up your field goal, chip shot field goal for the win. Illinois doesn't even get a chance to get the ball back. I would take my chances with Moody versus giving them the ball back, especially like Michigan had 2 plays down there where they were dangerous throws. The deflected one on 3rd down, I think on 1st or 2nd, I'll have to watch it again, but JJ rolled out and threw to Ronnie Bell against their best cornerback, like a lofting play that the ball went back into the end zone, not like towards the corner. It was like lofted in the end, like easy for a safety to come over and pick that ball off. Obviously there wasn't, so don't get too freaked out, Phil. But I don't understand the end of the game, the last 20 seconds. It's like you were trying to find a way to lose that game. All you had to do is run the clock, get the ball down to under 5 seconds, chip shot field goal for the win. Instead, it wasn't a great chance that Illinois had, but still, I think it was a bigger chance that Illinois, who I think has double-digit picks this year, would have picked off a ball than Moody missing a field goal. I think there was a higher chance, honestly, on those two plays than, on the pick than Moody missing. Oh, stress. Oh, man, what a change, right? I'm not saying Michigan would have coasted or anything, but it's interesting how you could see Illinois' offense starting to take over the game in the second half, like Michigan likes to do. You just run the ball, and you get up, right? But Michigan rose up enough to get some stops. There's a couple of key stats here. 4th downs in this game. Illinois went 0 for 2. Michigan went 3 for 4. The only one they missed was the one where Andrel Anthony just inexplicably let a touchdown pass just go through his hands. And there might have been an offside play there. I don't care. You had a touchdown go right through your hands, and the defense wasn't even making a play on you. Catch the ball. Ugh. Talk about stress. So, what does this game really mean? Obviously, even if Michigan lost, they still had everything to play for next week at Columbus. Don't get me wrong, right? The winner of the game is winning the Big Ten East. Fine. How much of this was Illinois rising up, seeing their season kind of on the line at losing 2 games in a row versus, and now like Brett Bielema, his mother unexpectedly died this week. So how much was there extra emotion for Illinois, rise up for the coach? I don't know. But you have all this thing. Then you're throwing senior day for Michigan. You're missing all these starters. Just like the perfect storm of of the way to lose. But Michigan didn't lose. For whatever it is, Michigan didn't lose. They got the win. That's what matters in the end. The final score, Michigan stays undefeated. They're 11-0 going to the game. I don't know. I really wish Michigan would have just been able to dominate Illinois and just march through them and rest players and such. I guess that's maybe one silver lining here, is that Michigan was able to rest Edwards and Morris and Henning. Hopefully they're back next week. Was this like they could have played if it was Ohio State week? Are they those types of injuries? And of course, what about Corum? How bad is that knee, right? Because you have a 1 week and you're going to be playing against the Buckeyes. Like, is he going to be able to go? And what about everyone else? Oh, this is going to be a stressful week. Completely high stress. All kinds of injuries. It's crazy. It's rivalry week. Oh, man. Take a breath, Phil. Take a breath. Michigan won. Oh, man. Oh, sorry. Long video. But what a game. Michigan pulls it out. Gets the win. 19-17. Stays undefeated. Just look at the other scores. TCU had to win on a last-second field goal. They were at least at Baylor, right? But they had to win on a last-second field goal. Just, you can't take anything for granted this time of year. You just can't expect that you're just going to blow people out every week. And you know what? This week, Michigan survived. Survive in advance. And that's what Michigan did this week. Long video. Lots to talk about. Oh my, Michigan. But they get the win. Hey, let me know what you guys think. I'm not even worried about Ohio State week. That's just going to be settled on the field. If Michigan plays like it did this today, it's not going to go well. But I'm not worried about that. What do you think about this game? Michigan gets the win. And then going forward, obviously the team will have to play better next week. Hopefully they get like 4 starters back. Next week would be great. And obviously Corum hopefully is not seriously injured. Alright. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for watching. As always, until I see you guys next time, go Blue!